G'day, Paul. I think you're going to be taking the lead for your team. Is that right?
That's right, Eamon.
Okay. Well, you were the winner of the best temporary and/or low-cost idea for 30k speed limits for non-arterial roads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to your first slide. Your timer starts, and it's over to you.
Thank you, Eamon. Thank you, everyone. Now we've just got the first opening slide. Maybe you could jump to the next one.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you. We can all imagine times when slowing down improves our lives, helping us to live in the present, to be more relaxed and more efficient. And similar advantages occur when we slow our streets, reclaiming the public space that is currently dominated by speed. Cities were not always obsessed with speed. Until the early 20th century, the street was seen as a public space for people of all ages. I think we need to go to the next slide, Eamon. Cities were not always obsessed with speed. Until the early 20th century, the street was seen as a public space for people of all ages, and the freedom and safety of people walking and cycling and socialising on streets was an accepted part of city life. From the 1920s, speed was seen as part of the new age that would provide advantages for us all. But instead of improving our lives, speed has led to tragic road crash deaths, huge infrastructure costs, and the loss of public space in the city. Policymakers are now realising that speed is a serious problem, not a solution, and that 30k speed limits effectively address this problem, making our roads safer and providing benefits for social connection, local economies, neighbourhood amenity and sustainability. In 1992, Graz in Austria was first to introduce 30k for an entire city. The new limit soon had majority support. Livability improved with calmer streets and less pollution. Road users showed greater consideration for others, and serious crashes fell by a quarter. 30k streets are now widespread in Europe. The Netherlands has over 75% of its urban streets at 30k or less. In Berlin and Munich, it's over 80%. Several European cities have plans to lower speeds in almost all residential areas. Cities throughout the world are discovering the benefits of 30k or 20-mile-an-hour streets. Portland in the United States has a citywide limit of 20 miles per hour in residential streets as part of its Vision Zero strategy, aiming for zero road deaths. 30-kilometre-hour speeds are a major part of the success of Vision Zero in cities like Oslo and Helsinki. Impressively, neither city had a single pedestrian fatality in 2019. So why is reducing speed so important for road safety? One reason why road crashes decline when speeds are reduced is drivers have a wider cone of vision and see the street as a public space for people, not just as a movement corridor. At lower speeds, drivers are more able to respond to unanticipated movements. At 30 kilometres an hour, a driver can stop within 13 metres. At 50k, you need twice that distance. A driver who could stop from 30 kilometres an hour in front of pedestrians would hit them at 50 if driving at 50 kilometres an hour, likely resulting in a fatality. Humans have evolved over many thousands of years to survive running into a solid object at maximum running speed, or about 30 kilometres an hour. Less than 10% of pedestrians die when struck by a vehicle travelling at 30, but fatality rates rise sharply at speeds over 30. As well as being safer, low-speed streets look and feel safer for vulnerable road users. In nations with low-speed streets, parents are much more likely to let their children use their streets to walk or cycle to school than in nations with higher speed limits. When children are not free to safely use their streets, this creates more traffic congestion as parents feel obliged to take on chauffeuring duties. This extra traffic and chauffeuring consumes much more time than the few seconds longer driving at 30 kilometres an hour in local streets would take. 30k streets not only encourage active transport, promoting physical activity and combating obesity, they also encourage social connection. This creates stronger local communities, increasing social capital and promoting both physical and mental health. Another health issue is noise. Traffic noise ranks second after air pollution as an environmental threat to public health. Slower streets are much quieter and more relaxing than streets with fast-moving traffic, creating spaces that encourage people to convene, linger, socialise, and of course, to shop. Local economies benefit from lower speed streets, which are attractive to local people, so they spend more time there. An important effect is that they spend more money in local shops and services instead of driving to more distant shopping centres. City budgets benefit through lower infrastructure costs. With 30k streets, we don't need to install expensive separated bike lanes as cyclists comfortably share the street. 30k streets can be implemented in non-arterial roads throughout the city, and this can be done very quickly. COVID-19 has stimulated rapid low-cost interventions in cities throughout the world. In 30k streets, car parking space can be safely converted into space for people, providing a subtle way of reducing our dependence on cars. As Rodney Toddley and I explain in our recent book, car dependence is the definitive wicked problem for policymakers. Tackling this is hard and needs win-win strategies. Low-speed streets tick multiple boxes for health, sustainability, and economic resilience. If we want to create an even more livable Sydney, slowing streets to 30 kilometres an hour will provide a circuit breaker to refocus on living and enjoying places rather than rushing and movement. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul. I mean, this is such a wonderful idea that's so applicable, you know, as you say, in every non-arterial road around the entire city. This is a campaign that the committee is really passionate about, and something that we've been embedding in a whole bunch of work we've been doing around reclaiming high streets, around making the city more cyclable, around thinking about how we make the city more walkable. You know, clearly 30 kilometres an hour has so many benefits beyond you know, the obvious around slowing our lives down. It's just a wonderful idea with so many sort of overlapping benefits. I think it's a no-brainer. So well done. Thank you for your thoughts on this. I might actually just, if it's all right, just jump back to your book so that I can check the name of it to anybody that's keen to know more about this. It sounds like that book's a good place to start. Am I right?
I would think so. Thank you.
Indeed. Okay, thank you, Paul, and thank you, Ian and Rodney as well. Look, we didn't really get to talk about it, but as the walking volunteers, you guys do really wonderful work. You know, we know you well from the work you did around the Manly to Bondi Walk and many other great pieces of advocacy. So well done to your thinking and your passion and your advocacy in this space.
Thanks again.
Thank you.